This is Kreskin, and I am feeling extremely better, well on my road to recovery. They say in about 2 more weeks, I should see that to be the case. So it's with some enthusiasm that I'm introducing you to a movie called The Prestige. And what can I say about this motion picture? It is brilliant, compelling. It's a masterpiece to watch. The frustrating thing about watching this, and I warn you folks about it, and yet I survived the movie, is that there are scenes in the movie in which the conversation is so quiet that you're not quite sure what they said. And I would say that this has happened to me in watching the movie, maybe 30% of the entire movie. Now, I'm not condemning the movie because of that, because it still was worth watching. It really was. The sound on this is atrocious at times. It is so soft that when it's raised, and you raise the volume on your machine all the way to the top where it goes all the way to the end, it does not come up to that volume. In spite of this fact, I have to share with you this fascinating story. It's the movie about 2 stage magicians. They seem to be performing maybe a few a century or so ago when theaters were even more common, and that's where they did most of their work. But whether that's true or not, they're performing at a time when cars are not as popular and wagons were being used to get around. They're performing at theaters with at least 2 or 3 people participating. In one of the first scenes, you have a brilliantly put together scenario of a situation where one man is on the stage. He's the magician, looks like the magician, acts like him. He may very well be in real life a magician. And he has a woman with him. There's a giant cabinet. She will be then lifted up by a crane and lowered into the cabinet to be able to stand full length of the glass piece, because all 4 sides of the cabinet are of glass. Walled in. She's lowered. The lid is put on. You can tell it's an old-fashioned type theater. The audience is excited and impressed with the performer. And now you see water being poured into the cabinet. The moment when the glass box fills to the top with water, slowly rising higher and higher until the water is over the head of the assistant, very attractive assistant, who obviously is having trouble and concern to herself of surviving. The magician on the stage also shows great concern, and lo and behold, gets an axe or some rod of some kind and slams onto the glass, which the way he does it could almost cut her and to some degree. But evidently, this really happened, and this was the first scene of doing it. And the glass splatters all over the place. As the water now lowers out and slower, it looks as if she's failing and finally collapses. When they take her out of the glass box, she's apparently dead, totally deceased. It's a very, very dramatic, vivid scene. I was surprised that it was kept in the movie, because you could see the concern of everybody around the technology of the production becoming upset and worried. But things that are make-believe and seem to be real, you wonder if this was done with that intent in mind. It captures the realism of this. She's lost to them, and he is very distressed about it, and the scene goes on. Do they retire? No, the truth of the matter is they don't retire. There still are scenes in the future with two magicians, and in one of the scenes, the magician captures, and what you see, so help me, God is a glass box, similar to the one that was broken into pieces on the stage, and the magician is lowered into it. Obviously, this is one of their famous illusions, and the same thing is happening. It is filled with water to the top. The thing that makes it hard to really quite understand is that as he's lowered, the bottom line is that these stage magicians who consider themselves among the greatest in the world, the audience reaction is such to know that they have a tremendous reputation. The other of the illusions which they involve people are also quite dramatic, but I'm not going to reveal any of them to you now or the climax of the movie. That something like this could happen a second time, even though possibly the victim does survive when things are put away and what have you. That's something you're going to have to see yourself. I can only tell you this. It's one of the best productions I've ever seen of magicians working as a group to create a storyline. It's well acted, extremely well directed, and remarkably interesting. And as far as yours truly is concerned, one of the best capturing of a magician's performance on stage I've ever seen. That's how effective this movie is. Now, I hinted to you about the frustration I had with the movie. I could not raise the sound, so I could not appreciate about 30-40% of the dialogue taking place during the various scenes. I felt that I could add immensely to the enjoyment of the movie. But in spite of this, it is rare that I would give you advice to see the movie as such. I think this is one that you're not going to see how impressive it is, how dramatic it is, and how convincing it is because of the way it was put together. For the time being, in spite of whether you hear my remarks or not, keep in mind a movie called The Prestige. It's a fight between two evidently seasoned stage illusionists, one wanting to be greater in access than the other. If there is a conclusion to this, I don't know. You might see it in the movie itself. If there is a case, you got to drop me a note and explain to me just how the movie ends. It's a dramatic experience, convincing, including illusions, which are extremely effective. You can't miss the boat taking a trip with The Prestige. Well, folks, let's just hope this is to be continued.